Good evening, YouTube. I'm just on my way back home. It is Monday, the 19th of June, and I've had quite a frustrating day, quite a weird day, and I can't wait to tell you all about it. So, before I go into what happened today, I want to give you what I have booked in for this week. This was all arranged on Friday last week, and I had, from the person that I'm developing some regular work from, which is pickups around the country and dropping off in a central location, I got 4 routes from them. I'm not going to spend time today looking at the costs because I'll do that when I come and do them this week. But the routes were, roughly speaking, one pickup. Oh, there's a guy at the crossing who's not now using it. There was one pickup from a London address, central London address, and then there was one pickup from an Edinburgh address. There were 3 pickups from the Wirral area and 3 pickups from the sort of Derby area, Derby Warwick area. And I got bids accepted, or got my quotes accepted for those jobs, and I've got the chance to get all those done this week. So I need to get myself at some point to Edinburgh, to London, to the Wirral, and to sort of Derby way. And then on Sunday night, actually it was Monday morning, it was about 1:30 this morning, I was still awake from Sunday night, and my phone pinged with a job going from Heathrow to just north of Leeds, or just south of Leeds, Castleford. And so I put a bid on that job. It was 194 miles, and because it was getting me a long way towards one of my the pickups that I'd already arranged, it was getting me towards the one near Derby. I put a slightly less than £1 a mile bid on. I put £180. It's for a long wheelbase job. Long wheelbase van, and I won that. I was really surprised. They called me back. It was about 1:45 at this point in the morning, and I got the job. A very nice lady. So I had a plan now. Plan for today was to find a job from home to London, and then from London to Castleford, in time for tomorrow morning, getting a job from 3 jobs from around Leeds, Warwick, down to London again. And that would have been really good paying a couple of days. Now, I didn't want to start too early today because I knew it was going to be a very long day. If I was not going to be picking up tonight until the pickup time was 7:45, going from Heathrow to London to Castleford. So I thought I better not start too early, otherwise my day will be way too long. So I went and did a few chores, started looking on the CX at around about 11, 12 o'clock probably more like. And usually there's often a job going to London, and I try to avoid it. When I'm trying to find one, there was nothing there. I did bid on a couple of things, didn't get them. I put fair prices on for them and didn't get them. And then about 2:30 I was getting a bit desperate because I had to get myself to Heathrow in time for my evening pickup. But if I was going to do a job from home to get there, I was running out of time to go to a place, pick up, travel to the destination, drop off and travel to Heathrow. So I got a bit desperate and I found a job that was kind of okay. It was going from King's Lynn to Bedford. which is kind of going in the right direction, but not all the way. It was a pickup for between 4 and 5, and I got the job come up with the 60X at about 3 o'clock. I put a bid on for, it was 69 miles for the actual load, but I had to travel 26 miles to get there. So, and when there was handballing, so I decided that what I would do is I'd charge £1 a mile from my home to King's Lynn and then to Bedford, but I would therefore discount the handballing and just sort of do that bit as part of the job. And I got in the bid accepted at £95, which is 26 miles for 69 miles at £1 a mile. So I made my way across, and at this point in time I was really pleased with myself because I'd got a job at last. It was a decent paying job, £95. It was getting me some of the way towards London, and I had plenty of time, or so I thought. So the story of this first pickup is I arrived on site. It was a farm. There was no one around. There was a sign on the door saying ring this number for loading. So I rang the number, got an answer. He said he'd be there in 10 minutes. So I thought, fair enough, and I'll wait 10 minutes. He was absolutely true to his word. He arrived dead on 10 minutes later. But when I explained what I was there for, he had no idea what I was talking about. And then eventually we found out that I was at the wrong location. The area of the farm I should go to was across the field. He pointed it out to me, and I drove over to the barn that I should have been at. So I arrived there about 15 minutes past, about 10 past 4, quarter past 4. And then I had a look around, there was nobody here either. I had a search around, I rang. Somebody arrived. I heard a van arrive. I thought, oh, excellent, someone's here. And I waited for him to get out of his van. And I asked him, oh, do you work here? And he said, no, he's just come to pick up something. And I thought, oh, that's not going to happen. So, and he said, I'll go look for someone. I'd already done that, but I let him get on with this. In the meantime, I'd seen some boxes that looked very much like the boxes I was meant to take. I was taking some live plants from a farm to a distribution centre. And so I thought, I did ring the shipper and explain the situation and sent a photo of the label and also of the boxes. And he said he would contact the customer and give me their number. Fair enough. Nothing happened. I thought the match probabilities here, these are the right boxes. So I started to handball them onto my van. Now my job order said about 150 boxes. They were quite big boxes, they were probably about a foot high and about 3/4 foot square in diameter and in a width and length. I started putting them on 2 at a time. Then the guy that had come with the van, I noticed, well, he went off and got a forklift. And he forklift on the load himself. So he did work for the company, he just didn't work at that particular location. He was a driver for them. So he knew what he was doing and what he was collecting. But he couldn't help me. But I noticed that I got the first set of boxes on, and then I noticed the rest of them were on a pallet. It was too high, but I quickly got the top 2 layers off and asked the guy if he would lift on the pallet while he was doing it. And he was very kind, he did that for me. So I now had these boxes on. I counted them up, there were 72 boxes. And I thought, well, there's no more boxes, but what? I can't be certain these are the right boxes even. So I rang the shipper, and I said, yeah, what's going on? And then I noticed that there was a number on the collection, but that hadn't been there before because I would have noticed it. And I asked the shipper, have you put this number on since I spoke to you? And he said yes, he had. And I explained to him that we don't get alerts when the booking is changed, so he should have called me and told me that he'd put a number on the system. So I was just wasting my time waiting for him to call me to let me know the number. So he took that on board. I was getting a little bit frustrated at this point because no one was giving me the answers, and I had half answers. That's worse for me. That's the worst thing. I had a load of boxes that I thought were the right boxes but weren't certain. I was pretty sure I was at the right place, but I wasn't certain. I was pretty sure I had all the boxes, but I wasn't certain. And I wanted to get off. So I rang the number that he gave me on the CX booking, and I got through to a lady and explained the situation. And she said, "Oh, you're at the wrong place." At this point, my heart sank. She described where I should be. I said, I was outside a big green barn. She said, "Oh no, you shouldn't be there. You should be just go to the cottages and turn right." And I wasn't really listening because I was so thinking this is going horribly wrong. And anyway, she described it, and I thought, I am in the right place because this is the green barn she's talking about, and I can see boxes. So I said to her, "Actually, I think I'm in the right place. I can see some boxes in an open barn. There's 72 of them. Does that sound about right?" She said, "Yes." I walked into the barn, described what I could see around the barn, described how the barn looked. She said, "Yeah, you're in the right place." So luckily, I had loaded the right boxes, and all of them were on board. So my day could have gone really badly at this point, but that's my only stroke of luck today was that. So I thanked her, got off the phone, called the shipper. I'd already, about half an hour before, I'd already rang them to say, "We've got some waiting time coming here. My charge is £10 per hour after the first half an hour." I rang him and said I wanted £10 for waiting because it was 55 minutes, and he agreed and put it onto the system. So now I was leaving. It was about 5 o'clock. My left side, and my sat nav said I was going to be at the distribution centre at 6:20. So I had given up at this point getting from the distribution. So because I know I had to handball off my load and then get from there to Heathrow. And I wasn't quite sure how far Bedford to Heathrow was, but I'm pretty sure it was well over an hour. And I was guessing I'd be an hour late. I thought it'd be about 2 hours to get there. I didn't have time in all of this stress to check the actual mileage from Bedford to Heathrow. I thought I'd do it when I get there. I thought I'm going to be running late. I can't change that. All I can do at this point is get my load delivered and off my van. And at that point, when I've done that, I'll call the shipper for Heathrow and say, "I'm sorry I'm late, can I still do the job?" And if they say no, that's it, I'll have to just find another job and go home. So I had resigned myself to losing that job, going to Castleford. So I got myself to, with my load of plants down to the distribution centre. I found out what I meant. I went to the office, they told me where to go, told me to unload and get someone to sign my POD. There's a really nice chap there that helped me get a couple of trolleys to do. It's the first time I've been to that particular site. I got them all handled off, put them into the depot. I took some photos of the 4 trolleys that I sorted out. Then I had to sign my POD. And then I was out of there in quite a good time. It was about 6, 7. I spent about 15 minutes there. And when I put the sat nav postcode in to go from Bedford to Heathrow, it was only an hour and 5 minutes. So suddenly, game on. I can get there in time. It was telling me my destination estimated arrival time was 7:45, which is exactly the time I was meant to be there. So I was quite happy at this point. I'd been very stressed for the last 2.5 hours, and now I was happy again. I was heading to another distribution centre in Heathrow, and I'd not been there before. And I was taking parcels from one place, Heathrow to Castleford. I arrived bang on time, 7:45, and there was a row of 3 vans ahead of me. I parked up behind them, then walked up to the gate and pressed the button because I knew that I meant to be there at that time. There was no reply. I spoke to one of the other drivers and said, "Have you been in before? What's the process?" And he helped me by saying, "Press the top button." So I got in my van, drove to the front of the line, pressed the top button, and explained who I was, and they let me in. I parked up, and then I knew I meant to go to the transport office. Before I got there, a guy was telling me to. He said he wanted me to go back out of the gate. And I said, "Oh, I meant to be here at 7:45." He said, "I don't care. Go back out of the gate. Wait outside." I mean, he was quite. I wouldn't say he was rude. He was quite forceful, and I was quite fine just to do what he said. He seemed to be taking control of the situation. He had a. I assumed he worked there. And then I think he said to me, "Your van's too small. We're going to cancel your job, and you won't get paid for it, probably." So I thought, "Oh, fair enough. I can't do anything about that. Let's just see how it goes." So I just was very polite and I was doing what I was doing. Just did what he said. I went back outside. He said, "Wait at the end of the road, we'll see if we can get you a job." I think he was expecting me to kick off and be rude or to argue with him. Because I didn't do that, I think he suddenly thought, "Well, let's try and get this guy some work, even though it's the wrong van." So I suppose my tip is, when something goes wrong, always just stay calm and just do what you're told, and usually good things come of that eventually. Now, I want to, at this point, and I'll put a link in the description to the video, I'm going to come off my narrative for today slightly, to tell you a context for what's going to happen next. And it's a video that I saw from Neil at Neptune about cancellation charges. And in that video, he talks about someone's experience and what they learned from it, and he gave some advice. And off the back of that video, I went back into my CX booking and I changed my terms and conditions. Prior to seeing that video, my cancellation fee was £25. That's all it said. After watching the video, I went back in and said £25 before arrival at pickup, and 50% of the job total when I'm at the pickup. And I put that in because that was the advice. Oh yeah, that was what I took from that video. Right, scroll back now to me waiting outside the depot for a potential job. I tidied the back of my van a bit because I managed to tidy it from dropping off at Bedford, and I wanted to get things. My straps put back and the blankets put back up. And while I was doing that, I got a phone call from somebody. I answered it, and it sounded like the guy that's supposed to be on the back depot. He referred to me by name and said, "Come back in, we'll have to give you some work." "Oh, well, no, we'll try and give you some work, so come back in." So I said, "Do you mean now or after these vans?" He said, "Come back in straight away." So again, hope springs eternal. I went back in, parked up, had a chat with the guy, worked out where we came from a reasonably similar place in the country. I said that where I live now, and he said, "Well, we do regular runs from here to Peterborough." So I thought, "Oh, this could turn out to be a contact that I get extra work for now." So he said he would check with the depot if I could get any work. And at this point, I was reasonably hopeful because I'd been called back in. And he went, when the shutters opened, he went and talked to somebody who looked like they had a different coloured uniform on, who looked a bit more official. And the outcome of that was they didn't want to use my van because it was too small. what they wanted to have was a 4-metre van, and I've got a 3.4 metre long van. So fair enough, they can't use me, and I have no argument about that. Not with them anyway. So I then rang the shipper who booked me, and I explained to them that when I had been given the booking, if I'd been told it was a 4-metre van required, I wouldn't have accepted the job, but I wasn't told that. And so the guy who answered the phone, who again was very nice, they've all been very nice, these people, so he gave to his supervisor. He went off the phone for a bit, came back to me, and then he just said he would pay me the £90, which is my 50% cancellation fee, because I arrived on site, because they felt that it was their responsibility that I'd been booked in incorrectly. So I've got conflicting feelings about this shipper. I don't know if I'll be able to do any work for them again, because they want a big van. They want a 4-metre van, and I can't do that. And also, they do want work done cheaply. So the only reason I took this job, the only reason I got this job, was I bid less than £1 a mile, and I wouldn't usually do that. So that's the downside. But on the positive side, they were fair. They did it. Everything about the cancellation I can't argue with. They did the right thing by me. So well done. But that then meant I'd done one job late on in the day. I was now in Heathrow, and I didn't know what I could do. But then I thought, I know what I could do here. Hop into central London and do that one pickup today for your regular shipment. And so I'll tell you the details for that one. The mileage for it is in the region of 49 miles roughly, and I bid £80 because there's handballing and there's the it's going to central London, and I therefore so I then went from Heathrow into central London. The reason why I chose to do that was because I thought it would be a quieter trip in than doing it any other time of the week. By this time it would have been about 8:20 in the evening. So I made my way into central London, went to pick up the stuff from my first and only pickup point, and we looked everywhere. We waited for anyone on site to tell us anything different, but the receptionist and I couldn't find. Well, really, I say I was following them. It wasn't me looking. The receptionist the duty manager couldn't find where the items were. So we decided that they must have been taken off site the week before. So I got them to sign my POD to that effect, and then I left central London. So I thought at this point, what to do now? I was going to tramp out next to my drop-off location for these items at High Wycombe. There's not going to be any work at this time of night, or there might be, but I can't guarantee it's going the right direction. Because of the day being quite a frustrating day, and I just thought I'll just rather go home and get into bed. So my journey home, which is what I'm doing right now, is basically 2.5 hours, 2 hours 20 minutes, and it's 116 miles dead. And so I've put into my spreadsheet all those details, so I can give you my daily figures for today. 2 of the jobs were CX jobs, and one was a job that wasn't from the CX. It was done from my contact. So let me run through those figures now. So I started work at 3:10, and I'm going to get back about 20 past midnight. So the total number of hours that I would have done today when I get home will be 9 hours. And the total number of miles that I would have driven today is 318,318. I'm estimating the fuel cost for this week because I filled up yesterday, Sunday, a full tank, so I haven't filled up this week. So I'm going by yesterday's average fuel figure of 12.6 79 pence per mile. So at that pence per mile rate, my fuel today has cost me £40.67. Now my earnings for today were for 3 jobs, totaling £255. That was the £95 I got from my original booking going from Kingston to Bedford, plus the £10 waiting fee, so 105, plus the £90 from my cancellation fee for Heathrow to Castleford, plus £60. I'm going to say £60 because I'm going to say to the shipper, it's too late for me to contact the shipper tonight, but I'm going to tell the shipper tomorrow in the morning that there were anything to collect, so I'm going to offer to take off £20 off my price. So rather than charging them £80, I'm going to charge them £60. Now they might refuse that, but I'm going to go for tonight's figures on the assumption that I get paid £60 for the trip I've just done. That wasn't any collection. And so my total earnings today after fuel is £214 and then I'm just going to basically get myself home, get into bed, and just treat tomorrow like a new start to the week and have a 4-day week, probably trumping out. But I've done one of my 4 routes that were pretty booked in last week. So I need to find a way of getting myself either to Edinburgh, to Derby, or to the Wirral area tomorrow from where I live, which we'll see how that goes. Okay, so oh yes, I forgot. I've got 4 subscribers now. I've got 2 more. So thank you for the 2 that subscribed in the last few days. I'll repeat my thanks to the original 2. You're all stars. I wish I could find out who you were from the YouTube app. I'm assuming there's a reason why it hides them from the creator. But I will share. I'm assuming if you've subscribed, you're watching this video. So you are the vanguard. You are the first 4, hopefully, of many subscribers. And you were there right at the start when it was like this. So thank you very much. I'm going to get myself back home now, and the lesson I've learned so many lessons today. I'm going to say as my lesson that I'm going to sort of share with you. It's not even something that I created. It's something that Neil Neptune taught me. It's definitely look at your cancellation charges and amend them if you get to a location. I'm definitely. Oh yes, if at any point, Neil, you watch this video, I am definitely going to now do the coffee subscription thing, or do a payment to you, because I feel that video that I watched of yours has earned me, specifically earned me £65 extra today that I would have otherwise got. Now I'm not giving you that much money, but I'll give you a tip, my gratitude, probably tomorrow now. So that's my thing I learned is about the cancellation charges. And so I'm going to stop it here. So thank you very much if you're watching this. What have you learnt today?